This is a Deadmines Dungeon guide and it's Horde week, so we have a Horde build. You can see it above me. We will go through the minions and the talents after the dungeon, but we will go through each and every one of these stages first. And starting with the first level, there's a couple of things we need to know in here. First is there's 3 gold veins, 1 on the left side, 2 on the middle path over here. And ideally, we will want to gain access to them, or at least deny our opponents access to these gold veins, so that we don't get overrun by the enemy forces so easily. And another thing we should consider is that there's going to be a stealth torrent that's going to be walking down towards this pipeline over here. And it will kind of have a direct access to your base if you don't do something about it. And that's why we have the Whelp Eggs. In the build, you can just drop your Whelp Eggs over here on the pipe and they will hard counter the torrent easily and possibly be able to do some damage to the boss after that as well. So they're really good option in here in the first stage. So let's start and see what we will be getting. I will probably want to counter this one, so I'm gonna deploy Safe Pilot and our leader in here. I will use the arrow so they can go over that way, because I really want to contest this side, be able to get these gold veins over here. And I'm gonna drop the Whelp Eggs over here, so that they will take care of the torrent. And let's see, we will probably want to play our own torrent in here to defend against these enemies over here. So yeah, you can see the Whelp Eggs took care of the torrent. Now they can deal a little bit of free damage to the boss as well in the meanwhile. And I'm gonna place our kobold in here, try to get these, and our iron miner in here to get this gold vein. Even if we kind of lose a little bit gold in the process, we still deny our opponent's chance to get that one. And the next thing is I'm gonna be playing our leader again, and now I'm gonna go to the right side, because having an access to this meeting stone gives us a really smooth access to the boss as well. Again, I'm gonna be dropping Whelp Eggs over here, take care of this torrent so he doesn't get all the way towards my base. And again, we have to probably defend a little bit against these. Well, maybe we can just push a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna use our healer and our torrent in here, and we should be able to defend against these with the relic we have, which gives us free grunts if we play Horde minis, so that should be fine. Let's put a kobold over there. It will probably die to the bandit though. Let's put another leader in here, and we should be able to win this fight with this combo, I believe. Let's drop the Whelp Eggs in here for some extra damage. Now, we should be blocking this one, but I think we will be winning, so we don't really have to care about that too much. So that's the first stage. That's what you need to do. You kind of want to use your Dark Iron Miner to get to left gold vein, and use your Kobold probably to get gold veins on the right side, and deny your opponents the access to those. And also remember to use the Whelp Eggs to counter that torrent which is walking towards the pipeline. So let's take a look at the second stage then. And for the second stage, there's also a couple of things we need to know. There's a couple of chests over here which we will want to get as soon as the round starts. And we will gonna be switching this arrow so we can go to the right side. We will be able to take this tower, and these enemies will start coming down from here. So we will want to get, if we can, the living bomb cast when they are around this tower over here, so we can deal extreme damage to this tower as well. If you are a bit overleveled, you can probably take out the tower completely, but let's take these chests. Safe Pilot is probably not the best option for that, but let's do that for now. Let's send our kobold down there and let's get our living bomb ready. There we go. And we can start. As you can see, we almost took out the tower. Now, if we had our Safe Pilot ready, we could probably take out the tower with that one, but we can just use our tower for this now. I think that should be enough to take out this tower. And meanwhile, we can deploy our leader in here and our healer as well in here to take this middle tower over here. And let's see if we have to defend against this one. I don't think so. This should be fine. Now we don't have a living bomb ready, unfortunately, so I'm gonna drop Whelp Eggs over here once they start coming. The Flame Burst should take care of the Murlocs, and the Whelp Eggs should be able to at least deal really good damage to the other monsters, so that's a pretty good thing for us. Let's use the Kobold. Well, that wasn't exactly what I was planning to do. I was a little bit too hasty. It works out. I think I'm gonna drop safe pilot there, just so we can take care of those. Now we can start pushing towards the boss itself, and once these monsters come from here, we can also use the living bomb and cast it in here, so it can kill all the monsters and deal extremely great damage to Cookie as well. So we're gonna have to wait for that to happen. I'm gonna take that gold over there meanwhile. So in here we cast the living bomb over here. It should, there you go, deal so much damage to Cookie as well. And I think we will be winning this battle with this one. We have our healer and our frontline attackers in here dealing great damage to Cookie. So that was a really simple way to beat this round. That's the basic strategy. You can kinda ignore the right tower completely if you want to. You can just take the 2 towers on the middle and the left side for this one. And then for the third stage, now this can be really annoying if you have let your enemy have their way, because these zones over here will clone, they will insta-kill and clone whatever unit comes to them when they are illuminated. So if you let a really strong unit to get into here, it will then be cloned and they will come out from here, and potentially you will be facing such a huge horde of enemy that you can't possibly defend against. So that's also why we have the Dark Iron Miner in this deck. We will try to feed the miner to these lights over here. Also, if we can, we will want to contest this chest in the beginning, so that we can get the gold and not the enemy. And this should be just fine. We can drop safe pilot in here, take care of these really smoothly as well. The enemy also dropped the safe pilot. Okay, that should be fine. We should be able to win that one. But for example, now we accidentally cloned the crunch, which is not the most optimal way of doing things. But I think we can probably living bomb this one. We will wait for them all to come in here, and then we will living bomb, and it will probably take out the tower as well. There we go. We should be able to win this one, and we can start pushing towards what's happening in here. For now, I wanna feed the Dark Iron Miner to the light, so that the Molten Giant does not get multiplied. And I will put the safe pilots in here. I mean the Whelp Eggs, take care of the safe pilot and the Giant, and hopefully the Ogre as well. I think I also have to play my own safe pilot in here as well. I kinda misclicked where I wanted to place this the Whelp Eggs, but that's fine. It worked out semi-well, I would say. And we are gonna get some safe pilots, go beat. That's not the best option, but also not the worst option there is, so we can continue with our stuff in here. Let's see, next time it gets illuminated, I would love it to copy. Yeah, I will want it to copy the Dark Iron Miner again, so we don't get a lot of these bad riders. Now let's put safe pilots in Whelp Eggs. I keep mixing Whelp Eggs and safe pilots, sorry about that. Whelp Eggs over there, so we can take care of that tower and that safe pilot, and also get the chest. And now we can start pushing towards the boss. And now this is the annoying part, because now you have to kind of make sure that doesn't happen. Because now we are facing a horde of our own leader, and that's not exactly what we are looking for in here. Let's see if we can survive this one, or if we are in deep trouble right now. There's also the chance that those... Yeah, hopefully it's the bandit. Yeah, it's the bandit that gets cloned and not the Molten Giant. That's really good for us. For us, we can deal with that. We can live with that one. Now this is taking a little bit longer, because we can't make our way through towards the boss, but now I think we might be able to do it. Let's see. Oh damn, we got the torrents. I keep missing the Dark Iron Miner spawns, so we are facing a lot of things we would not want to face. I'm gonna living bomb this one. Probably won't kill them all, but hopefully it will severely damage them. Yes, it will severely damage them. And maybe we can use Whelp Eggs to take care of them. What's going on in here? We are dealing some damage to the boss. Our leader plus healer combination is working really well. That's really good for us. I would love to get my hands on that gold vein, but that bad rider is in the way. So let's see, let's take that gold vein meanwhile instead. Let's deploy our leader in here to take care of those. I think we can just kinda reinforce this push a little bit. Hopefully we can take out the boss with our leader and healer combination and defend against this one in the meanwhile. And it seems like that should be a possible thing to do. We also have our living bomb, which we can use for a little bit extra damage. This should be our victory. There we go. So a couple of like misclicks and a couple of times I was too late to deploy the Dark Iron Miner to the cloning machine, but otherwise it went quite smoothly. We were able to defend, and you can see what happens if you mess up that one. You will face a horde of your own leader, you will face a horde of Taurens, horde of Molten Giants. That's really, really risky business at that point. So you really want to avoid that. You want to feed some cheap units. If you don't have the Dark Iron Miner, you want to feed like skeletons, kobolds, anything cheap, easy to kill. The whelps as well to the cloning machine, and avoid getting those strong units to be cloned. So that's the key strategy of winning this third stage. Let's go take a look at the build before wrapping this video up. So what about the minions and the talents, as you have been seeing above me? And we have the Cairne Bloodhound deck over here. So we have him with the Reincarnation talent, which I believe is the best one, because it just resurrects him at 50% health after he dies, so you can just get more value. And his AoE stun attack is really, really strong in many cases. And then we have our tank, the Stonehoof Tauren, which with the momentum is really, really useful in many cases to be able to charge and take out those backline range units as well. He's also really, really tanky, really good unit, kind of cheap as well with 4 gold. And to kind of support both of these units, we have the Frostwolf Summon to heal them, to give them a little bit more possible DPS because they can stay alive longer, so they can deal more damage, they can be more useful. You could use somewhere else in here if you don't feel like you want the healing ability, but I do think they work quite well together in the build. In the range option, we have the Safe Pilot. Again, Safe Pilot is pretty much in every deck. It's just so valuable, so great unit. You can use it to snipe enemy units, to claim chest, do whatever purpose. There's so many use cases for Safe Pilot, and the Grommash cloaking device is really, really good option for PvE fights especially. In here we have Dark Iron Miner. I don't even have a talent, and it's relatively low level because I haven't really been using Dark Iron Miner that much, but this one is really, really useful in this dungeon, I feel like, because there's a lot of gold veins that you don't really want to give your enemy an access to, especially in the first stage. And in third stage, where the enemies will copy and insta-kill units that walk to the lights, you can use the Dark Iron Miner as a cheap unit to feed that one to the light, to the cloning machine, and sacrifice your Dark Iron Miner. It's going to be really easy for you to defend against a group of Dark Iron Miners compared to like defending against a group of Molten Giants, for example. So that's a really good unit. You can just drop it there instantly to activate the cloning device and avoid getting something much more dangerous to be cloned against you. In here, Whelp Eggs with the Flame Burst talent is really good. Even without the Flame Burst talent, they can work quite well in this, especially for the first stage. But they do help out a lot if you have the Flame Burst, which is an insanely good talent. If you haven't picked a talent for Whelp Eggs yet, then the Flame Burst is definitely one you want for them. They're really good for the first stage against the Tauren, and they're really useful in the second stage against the groups of enemies, and in third stage as well, just because you can drop them on. You can also clone the Whelp Eggs, like the Dark Iron Miner, and you can also drop them at the boss to help you give a little bit more damage to the boss itself in the third stage as well. And finally, we have the Living Bomb. Living Bomb is basically the most useful in second stage against the groups, as you saw. If you don't have the Living Bomb, if you don't want to use the Living Bomb, then probably Blizzard will do kind of the same job. It will, if not kill the enemies, the groups, it will at least severely damage them, and with a lower gold cost than a Living Bomb. So that's also a really, really good option. But I do like the Living Bomb in here because you can kind of take out the whole groups. You can use it as well to deal damage to the towers or deal damage to the boss in the second stage as well. And so that's the build, that's the minions, that's the talents, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I will be glad to answer those, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, my friends. Laku out.